Hello, Fightful Faithful. It's Tuesday, much to my chagrin. Okay, what's happening?
Well, it's the Tuesday Night Sour Grabs post show for NXT. I know that much is happening.
It is.
It is NXT Roadblock, so we're going to be doing car puns. And speaking of puns, get in those super chats. Get in those humper chats at humperchats.com. And please leave a thumbs up on this video if you would be so kind. And darn it, if you're not subscribed to Fightful Select, let me tell you about some stuff, okay? You're going to get all the scoops in the world that you possibly could from Shawn, right? Right. You know that. That's kind of the forte of Fightful Select, okay? You're also going to get all these great bonus podcasts, and you're going to get Shawn's Q&A, and all these things that are great. But most importantly, Alex, you're going to get us reviewing Monday Night Raw. And on weeks where the episodes aren't that great and we don't want to talk about it that much, you're going to get about an hour review. And then you're going to get another 45 minutes of us playing video games. As interrupted by Shawn, who set up a Doink the Clown versus Humberto Carrillo match.
He did. We booked that.
A way too long of a match.
Man, just
between...
Yeah,
that was. Wait, who was the coffin match between?
No, there was. I booked this one.
You booked R-Truth
versus Gunther in a casket match.
Yeah,
and Gunther took way too long because I couldn't figure out how to get out of the ring.
So we had some fun there yesterday. We also, we talked more about Wrestl-icious, which is really important to us as a society. So. We have a lot of fun behind the paywall. We did our AEW Revolution post show behind there this weekend as well, which, man, oh man, what a pay-per-view that was. But we're here to talk about NXT.
We are.
Right? NXT Roadblock specifically.
NXT Roadblock. There's a block on the road to stand
and deliver.
JDB Pringle says, amazing Alex, Killer Kate, Papa Paul, Louise, and all the SGS. To the asshat who hit and run my son on the highway tonight, may your socks be forever wet. I hope your son and the vehicle he was driving are all right. That's horrible. He's okay. So JP Pringle says, follow up. He's fine. The car has minor damage. Well, it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, thank goodness. I'm so sorry that happened.
Especially at highway speeds. That stuff is so scary to me. That stuff is so scary to me. Literally anything can happen when giant hunks of metal are moving that fast, man.
Yeah.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy to hear that your son is all right. Paul Elizabeth says, greetings, SGS and JWP. Dinner was Wrestl-icious. Have you been regaling your father with the tales of Wrestl-icious?
Actually, I don't think. Did I tell my dad about Wrestl-icious? I don't think so, because I love him. So I don't think I would do that to my dad. Normally,
so he watches other shows other than this one?
No,
he watches.
Actually,
then
Dad,
how does he know about Wrestl-icious?
I'm sorry.
Oh my God!
So sorry, Dad.
Is he the one who's been posting on message boards trying to find?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
All right, good.
We probably talked about it last week on this show.
I mean, no, we did not.
Did we not?
No,
when did we find out about Wrestl-icious?
Over the weekend. We found out about that over the weekend.
Time is a construct. I don't know what happens.
Yeah, no, it's true. My goodness.
Did I tell my dad about Wrestl-icious? I don't think so. I love him. I would never do that to him.
Oh, wow. As we said, it is car puns. Let's get these out of the way now before we get on with the rest of the night.
Whoa. Let's not use the phrasing "get out of the way."
No. I mean, here's the thing. I want to get some read some up top because we're going to save them for the rest of them for the end of the night. So I want to get you guys. I want to wet your whistles. I want to see where the rubber meets the road on this particular. Let's put some gas in the tank. Other things referencing cars. I don't know where cars don't have whistles. They're usually not wet. But Chris Pereira says Lincoln Continental Classic.
Very nice. My dad just derived Wrestl-icious because he can use context clues.
Smart man. Boris says AEW full gear stick.
Okay, very nice.
Chris Pereira says Truck Williams.
Very nice.
Pieces says Zach Buick LeSabre Jr. Chris Pereira says Minivan Vader.
Oh, that's really good.
Jambeard says Dalton Castle and his Pep Boys Auto Parts.
Don't get me started on Dalton and the Boys and where my heart is.
Mm-mm.
Taya Valkyrie and Johnny TV are evil.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, continue.
Well, there you go. Chris Perez says Dakota Kia.
Very nice.
MD Cyclo says Beat Bigelow and Honda Rousey.
Honda Rousey is
amazing.
Honda Rousey is excellent. Well done.
Boris says Lincoln Continental.
Oh, very nice.
Lieutenant Colonel Photo says Kendo Stick Shift.
Very nice.
Ian Riccaboni says Turbocharged Team 2000.
Yeah.
Tom Laval, he says, Manami Toyota Penelope Ford. Truthmas also says Penelope Form. Jambeard says Tesla Team 2000. Jambeard asks, does this count as a car pun? Darby the crash test dummy.
I think after this weekend, it's fair to say that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And C. Delgado says, it's Stingray.
Very nice. And timely.
And I'm going to contribute one. Ford, Lincoln, Mercury, Sable.
Very good. That's a very good one. Nicely done.
Okay.
I do appreciate that the two staples of my legacy on here are Techno Team 2000 and Zack Sabre Jr. Basically the same.
Yeah, the same things. Obviously.
Totally.
The Venn diagram for enjoyers of each thing is a full circle. Just like this. If you enjoy Zack Sabre Jr., you also love Techno Team 2000.
And then Big Josh is coming in right there too.
Right, exactly, same thing. Same thing.
You guys rule.
Speaking of cars, Lexus King is driving a car, but he shouldn't be allowed to because there's a weapon in the car because his beard is so sharp. What the hell, man? Stop with the beard. Just go. No, just grow a regular ass beard. What the hell? Like it looks like a worse version of the Tony Stark beard from Iron Man 1, where it was like just all knife edges is in the form of hair, like spray painted on his face. No with the beard.
I'm now kind of at the point where I'm like, I'm almost just in on it because I'm like, he's obviously trolling us.
Give in to the beard, Kate. We must stand fast against the beard.
My bigger question was, does he slide into his car like he slides into, like, does his throne slide into the car? I kind of wanted his car seat to be a throne. Have questions that I need answered.
Fine. Anyway, he intros the show.
The road was blocked.
Whatever. The Asylum match, Dijak versus Joe Gacy, would have been the best thing on the card, but there was a box that said, do not open the box. And instead of there being something good in the box, it was a spring-loaded boxing glove that punched him in the belly and not the balls. So they couldn't even get the gag right because it missed his balls by a foot.
Well, I don't want him to legit get punched in the balls.
But that's the gag, right? The gag is that you get punched in the balls, and he sold it like he got punched in the balls, but then you watch it back, missed his balls by at least 8.5 inches. Okay?
I'm going to rewatch it right now.
Like it's a fight. Like I get it. Like Joe Gacy's like a Wile E. Coyote crazy thing. Fine, cool. The boxing glove thing's got to end. It's got to. I'm done with the boxing gloves. No more boxing gloves. There could have been.
You make it sound like you were in on the boxing gloves, and you were not.
I was never in on the boxing gloves. I'm anti-boxing glove. Listen, a small explosive device that just like powder in his face. Like do that. That would be kind of fun if you opened it up and it goes and it was like powder in his face. That'd be good. The boxing glove, no.
It wasn't that far into his stomach. It's passable for a ball shot. I appreciate that you're anti-boxing gloves and friendship.
Yes, both.
This was a whole bunch of fun. This is by far the best version of Joe Gacy that we've ever had. I'm glad Dijak won and that he got a big win on a big special. That's refreshing. Yeah. And the Dijak moonsault off the top was ridiculous for a guy that size. Very cool.
That was a crazy move to do that didn't come anywhere close to ending the match.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Kind of where
that
it was.
Feels like the thing that you do because you cannot put him away by any other means. Like that was just a fucking thing you did coming out of the commercial break.
Yeah, that was.
Because it was so, I perceived it being so early in the match, I thought for sure he was going to miss.
Right.
Which was then going to give Gacy an opportunity to open things up for him, get some offense in, and then you get to the closing stretch. But he hit him like full on, like his thighs went across Joe Gacy's face. That's it. It's over. The match is over. Gacy kicks out like it's nothing. I'm like, I feel like that's a bigger move than
especially from the top of the cage.
Other thing from the top of the cage,
from a guy that size,
that size, that's 270 pounds coming down on your face from 15 feet in the air. That's the end of the match,
or at least the thing that sets up the end of the match. You know what I mean? Like if that was used in tandem with something else to tie a bow on it. Yeah, because there is like I'm so crazy, I'm impervious to whatever. You can't be that impervious. That's a good point. That should have been put in a better spot in the match. But there was a lot of
all the stuff they did after that, though. But I still feel like
first.
all that leads to this. Like a feast your eyes, he gets right back up. A feast your eyes, he pins him, he kicks out. What the hell am I supposed to do to this guy? Climb to the top, hit the moonsault, 1, 2, 3. That's to me, that's the way that gets laid out, but whatever. Everything else was really good. Putting him in the straitjacket, duct taping the blindfold on him was fun. Him basically just Joe Gacy throwing himself into people. But this is another thing for me is that you had Dijak win the first one, and then he just then he steals Joe Gacy into the night and takes him to an abandoned precinct somewhere, and we already talked about the treatment for the movie adaptation of that scene. So they do this match now because Joe Gacy can't be stopped. So you have this match. And Dijak wins again. That's 2 in a row. But it still doesn't feel like this is over yet. So are we getting the third one at Stand and Deliver? And does Gacy win that one, or does Dijak just go 3-0 against Gacy?
Are we getting a third one? Because I don't know what the bigger blow off than an Asylum match for this should be.
I'm fine with not, but it just one thing's for sure: you just can't keep Joe Gacy down. Like, okay, you're telling me that a lot for it to not be a third match on the horizon. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with this being over. But my then thing is I really love what you've done with Joe Gacy. What do you do with him now? Because the answer can't be nothing. We're going to talk later about somebody that you built to a major spot, and then they did the spot, and then you've done nothing with them since, and now it feels like, well, I don't know what this is now with this person. So I don't want that for Joe Gacy. He's doing the best work from
seen in NXT for sure
by far. So I want him to have more things to do.
I also, this probably makes the most sense for NXT because they don't really care about wins and losses. So having a guy who doesn't care that he loses but is just a maniac is probably one of the more survivable characters in this. Mm-hmm. But if he I want to see him pick up some wins. Mm-hmm. I definitely think Dijak should have gone over in this feud, whether it's 2-0 or 2-1 or whatever that looks like. I feel like Dijak is maybe being built toward title contention, and this was more an establishing feud for Joe Gacy. But you had said this is kind of Cactus Jack-ish, and kind of is. And I like that. And this is so refreshing because, one, Joe Gacy's a really good wrestler. We get to see him in a wrestling role instead of a cultist role manager type thing. Sure. So that's really refreshing. And it always felt like he had a vision that maybe wasn't executed on. And quite frankly, like, some of it was because everybody he was working with got released, requested releases, whatever. So it's not even only the fault of like just creative, but this is, I'm glad it seems like he has something that he can sink his teeth into and gets to follow through on, because I like it when wrestlers get to do that. But Alex, I'm so sorry that my parents watched this, but not everyone has such an easy time Cactus Jacking it. You know what I mean? If you need some help, Blue Chew might be for you.
Is your sex life stuck in developmental? Well, get ready for a call up with BlueChew.com and the code FIGHTFUL. Same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but how about this? No awkward in-person visits, no trips to the pharmacy. It's shipped straight to your door in a discreet package. But let me tell you, your package is not going to be discreet when you use Blue Chew, and the code FIGHTFUL helps to give you that confidence, that performance to take you straight to the main event, if you know what I'm saying. When approved online by one of our physicians, it just arrives straight to your door. You're not going to have people nosing around with what you're doing. And right now, you get your first shipment free when you use the code FIGHTFUL. Go straight to the top. You know what I mean. Memorable performance, high spot, whatever other innuendos you can think of. BlueChew.com and the code FIGHTFUL.
I had to go in for the kill early. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no.
There's too many obvious Braun Breaker spear ones. I have to up my game consistently, and sometimes that means getting creative early in the show.
Yeah. Man, also, if you need help, Cactus jacking it, like see a psychologist or something.
Fair enough.
There's some problems.
Man.
There's a lot of that might be maybe it might be a problem that Blue Chew can't solve.
It might be, but it also may not be, and so then we played the ad.
Right? Yeah. No, it's true.
Man,
Louise says, to be fair, it was the tiny cage.
It was the tiny cage.
It was still a significant amount. I was twice as tall as the regular turnbuckles. So
yes, and Dijak is a very large fella.
And also, Louise tells us that the boxing glove should have been real glass, for the gag.
Well played, Louise. Well played.
Instead of a spring-loaded boxing glove to go up like this, it should have been spring-loaded with a little bottle at the end to go like this, and right on his forehead. That'd be good.
There you go.
Yeah.
Not mad about it.
So last week we heard Tony D was going to ask. Was said to Stacks, after I do this sting tonight, go find that guy Luca, bring him to me. I want to talk to him. And so that's what happens tonight. He says, I need a consigliere. I need somebody to ask to the family, but you got to do whatever I say when I say it. Capiche? You agree to those terms? And Luca's like, yeah, I agree. That sounds good. I like that idea. It's a lot more TV time than I've ever had. Thank you. And so this is great. I like that they delineated. So you, my consigliere, Stacks, the underboss, Riz. She has no title. It's just everybody else has titles. Riz, no, you don't get to just do Riz. But she's Big Ange. Obviously, she's Big Ange. But I'm quoting him, just saying Riz. And nothing else.
No title whatsoever.
No title whatsoever. So this is awesome. This is something that I know Luis has been asking for literal years now. But you got a guy named Luca Cruzifino. He's basically has the same hairstyle and facial hair as the Don. He's a tribute act, and his gimmick is he's a lawyer. Come on, it's perfect. You got to do it. They did it. Great. One little thing, and of course I have to fix stuff. Yes. This is where he's talking about I'm going to win. I'm going to win tonight. I have to win tonight. Blah blah blah. I think it would have been great if Luca had said, You know something, Don? I had an idea for the match tonight. Come into my office, talk to me. If we get the sense that it was Luca's idea to do the bait and switch tonight, like at least we see him pulling his weight. Because if you have a guy who's in your family who's the consigliere, that's got to be the idea guy. That's got to be the smart guy. You know what I mean? Like the Don makes all the moves. He's the one who has the final say. But the consigliere is literally the advisor. He's the guy who you consult with about all of the stuff. That's your guy. And then the underboss controls all the foot soldiers. The guy who's the idea guy, we should see him tonight actually making that thing, and then he pulls his weight, and that's why he gets to stay. You know, like that kind of a thing. As maybe it's a trial. Maybe he's trying it out. Trial period.
Run. I don't hate that. Don't hate that. I agree with that idea, but I very much like this development. We've been asking for it for a while, especially because there were 2 openings in Tony D'Angelo lore that could have led to it. One, all the stuff that he was doing with Joe Coffey, all those jail segments were like very well done. And then the Lost in the Mud Chase U scandal with them would have been such a great place for him to enter the picture, but better late than never. I'm glad that he did now. I would appreciate if he had a much more cartoonish voice. He is very just normal, and that makes it harder for us to be extremely silly.
Not everybody can do the voice. So I appreciate him knowing his limits at this point in his career and not attempting something that sounds like, "Hey, it's me, Luca Crucifino," and he said, "No."
I'm gonna have to disagree with you there. I would like it cartoonishly over the top.
This is honestly so great about the whole thing is that the bit is incredibly cartoonish. If you have the actors there who are playing it as a cartoon, the thing that makes it so great is that aside from the original vignettes, it was like you can see behind me the sign that says Chicago Theater, which is why I am on the East Hudson River. From the beginning of that was cartoony. But when he started playing it, like for real, he was playing it honest. There was not like this is a parody of a mob guy who's a wrestler. He was playing it straight. And that's why it works so well, because you can feel he's committing not to the bit, but to the character, to the honest character he's playing. And Stax has gone along with that as well and helped out a lot. And I think Big Ange, honestly, as well, feels like she fits right in because she's also playing it honest and real and grounded. I think if you have Luca Crucifino coming in there, being like, "Hey, I'm the guy who talks to the cops," like that would be really. You want a pizza? You definitely do not want that guy.
That's your impression of Giovanni Vinci.
That's true.
Which is fantastic and extremely accurate.
Yeah.
No, I'm very excited about this because what we'd been saying this whole time was it can't be him and one guy. You gotta flesh it out if you're gonna have a family.
Yep.
The stuff with the Legato family was also good. Like I feel like Tony D is at his best. Tag team championships, fine. But like Tony D is at his best when he is a top guy going for a top title here, which I like. And I love that we're kind of filling it in with some missing pieces now. And Alex, more importantly, there are now 3 guys and a gal, which means they could get called up to SmackDown at any point in time.
It's true. It's true. Luis says, Big Ange being the Arn Anderson of the group friggin' rules. Yes, I pump my fucking fist in the air for Luca in the fam, says Luis. So that's good.
Hell yeah.
All right, I'm going to group all the Lyra and Tater stuff with their match. So what we get here is the Wolf Dogs versus Chase U. It's a match. Literally the entire faction of Chase U is at ringside, which that was a big ass faction. Like you got the two guys wrestling, you got another guy, you got three girls. It's like they look like NWO black and white circa 1998. Just like 12 people walking down to the ring, and no, it's yeah. So the Wolf Dogs have masks now. Whenever they're losing the titles to the Good Brothers at Stand and Deliver.
And deliver.
When they do, Baron's got to go up with Bron, right? Like this
I
feels
hope so.
because like I don't know what you do with him otherwise, and they really work well together as a team. This is the best Baron. This is the most grounded that Baron Corbin has felt in a long time. They work really well together. I also feel like they can just be, as you mentioned, like the Men of the Year with Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky, where they tag, sure, but also they're just cool, two really cool dudes who hang out and have fun hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's just good. You know what I mean? Yeah, so Andre Chase took two finishers back to back and got pinned. I don't know. This match was never going to be for me because it's Chase U. But I think that there's some serious legs in the Wolf Dogs on the main roster if they can ever actually split the tag titles. Like one, they could easily fit in on either brand is part of a tag team division that doesn't require both sets of belts being on a team that's never going to lose them. You know what I mean?
Yes. And so this was going to be more for me than for you because I got to watch Duke Hudson wrestle and that guy's awesome. His ring clearing spot popped me huge. He was just like, and you're way gone from the ring and you're way gone from the ring. I'm just glad that we got to see someone who I think is one of the best wrestlers in NXT wrestle a couple of times in a row. That's been refreshing to me. Them losing here is not surprising. It feels like I'm watching a Jericho stable. Like it takes things forever to develop under Chase U. And we get these dribs and drabs week over week. At least they're in the ring a little bit more now. Andre Chase, Harlem Bravado, whatever you want to call him, like he's really good at creating emotion out of nothing, kind of. Like he does deserve a ton of credit, I feel like, for building up hope spots pretty fast and getting the live crowd into it at least. And I'm sure a lot of people at home, but like he will sell you with his facial expressions, and he's great at that baby face desperation thing, which I think is one of the only things that was kind of helping with Chase U during like that scandal aspect of it or whatever. So Bron and Baron are a bunch of fun, predictable, but good enough match. I agree with you. I like to see Baron Corbin go up with him for no other reason than I think Bron is great, but I love him as a hot tag. My issue is, you going to do stuff with them? Because the last tag team you called up from NXT, or one of the last tag teams you called up from NXT, were the Creed brothers, and they debuted, and they were massively over, and they did important stuff, and they won a gauntlet match, and all these great things, and then they just haven't been around. No. I don't know if somebody's injured or anything like that, but as we're maybe winding down the bloodline stuff or Paul Heyman's involvement in it, I wouldn't, if you're not bringing up Baron Corbin, Braun Breaker with Paul Heyman, not bad. Paul Heyman with Braun Breaker and the Creeds, real good, because they worked really fun as a trio. I like when managers have more than one person that they're managing. That's just a personal preference for me. Seems like they're making a bigger investment in their job. But don't call the War Dogs up to not do anything like you did with the Creeds. I want to see the Creed brothers in action. So
Wolf Dogs.
I think they worked.
War Dogs would be very different.
I love them too. I think if there's not room for Gabe Kidd and Alex Coughlin on the main roster,
I mean, honestly. Afterwards, behind Duke and Andre Chase's back, Jacy Jane starts making she was looking kind of dumb with a finger and a thumb in the shape of an L on her forehead. And that just makes Thea Hale go crazy and like just flip out and just start going nuts up and down the ramp. And Freddy goes to the back where she brawls with Kiana James and Izzy Dame for a while. And then later, she goes like, Jacy Jane is like, so Andre, you screwed up. You're terrible at this. Duke, also, you had it in your hands and you lost it. I'm so disappointed in you. I'm the one who should be in charge to chase you because I made the calendars or something. And then Thea Hale shows up and she's like, oh, wow, I got in a big brawl with Kiana James and Izzy, so I guess I have a tag match next week. And Jacy's like, well, who's going to be your partner? Well, you are, right? Like, no, I'm doing something next week, so no. So Jacy Jane, so it's probably going to be Thea Hale and Fallon Henley because they're friendly now, I guess.
Yes. She's just so Gia, and you don't know the reference, and it breaks my heart because I'm
never going to, so you can stop making it. It's
fine. The people in the chat know. It's not our fault you missed the Gia boat and you won't put in the time and do the research your favorite brand of wrestling.
Yes, you're right. Also my favorite act on my favorite brand. I must know all of the things the characters are referencing in the lore. Kate.
I feel like everybody's lives are enriched by the Gia episodes of Saved by the Bell. At the very least, you will never want to smoke. Because the consequences when you do, Alex. But
yeah, no, it's true.
I didn't mind this. This is all where this is going, right? Whether you like it or not. Like, at least they're doing things that make sense. Right. The only thing that didn't make sense was, to your point, Thea Hale just going like a little nuts to people that had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Like, I wish there was just a little bit more of a connective tissue between how they set up the tag match and this, but Jacy Jane starting to pull away, and the crux of it I thought was going to be more over Riley Osborne, which it still, I guess, kind of could, but it seems to be more over Thea still loves Chase U and Jacy Jane. Does not. She was opportunistic in what she could do. So part at least makes wrestling sense. And what we're getting makes wrestling sense. Whether taste wise, not for me, but the Thea Hale, I guess she just goes ballistic on site whenever she wants to. So, but that was the only part that kind of bugged me about that, was just like that was a jump.
I need to call attention to something Booker T said tonight. He was very upset that the calendars, the sexy co-ed calendars, the women of Chase U calendar has sold out 3 times and he can't get his hands on one. He needs one so badly, Kate. I guess this wall calendar, he's got a spot on the cork board that sits above his desk in his home office, and he can't keep track of all of his dates that he's got to go, all these things he's got to go, all these signings and these wrestling related things he's got to do. How can I keep track of all these things other than, like, I don't know, a desk calendar or a phone or any other calendar? It has to be this calendar. And Vic Joseph says, what are you going to do? It's sold out. Can't get one. I need one, says Booker T. I need this particular sexy co-eds calendar featuring apparently sexy co-eds photos of young women who are my coworkers. I must have one. I'll even take a used one, he says. Yeah. So somebody, I guess, is willing to sell him on eBay one that has like a big circle around it. Oh, Jenny's B-Day on January 20th. And then over, dinner with mom on February 9th, but those months are gone. He must have this thing for March through because it's not a used wall calendar, not really, until 2025. What is a used sexy co-ed's calendar? What is that, and why does Booker T want one?
MD Cyclo saying, other than the disgustingness, bruv, we're like 3 months into the year, too long. Now, the only thing that I will say resonated with this is it does very much feel like Booker T has no idea what day it is all the time.
That's true.
He does not know it's Tuesday. He shows up 5 minutes before the show.
Living the gimmick. Yeah.
So that part is accurate. You think that could be solved by either an electronic device or a different calendar, to your point.
Yeah, no, but... I have 3 separate calendars on my phone. I can keep really? I mean there's the app that comes with it, and then another one that's for like all the other stuff, and then just one that so it's the one that my wife uses with her work, so I know when her meetings are.
Got it.
But like I don't have access to that one, so I have my own one. Let me know, like, other things for wrestling or whatever. And then there's just the one that came on the phone I can't get rid of. Well, anyway. Jambeard says, I have no clue what Gia is. And I appreciate that, Jambeard. I really do. I honestly do that. Thank you. I do appreciate that. However,
what do you need, a Gia vignette or something? Google it, nerds.
I do not like my ally in this, because this is also a guy who says, I kind of want Luca to start acting like the blue-haired lawyer guy from The Simpsons, and eventually R-Truth comes to NXT as his Lionel Hutz. And let me tell you how that is the worst idea I've ever heard in my life. No. Let's do this. Let's do it real. Let's do the whole thing around Tony D'Angelo has to be real and true and not played for gags. We can't do that. Otherwise, the whole thing collapses on itself. Got to do it.
Eddie Brown said we need a Gia video package. Just like Hechicero or any of these CMLL guys, if you don't know who it is, you can Google it. There's plenty of Stephanie and Gia content on the internet that you guys can check out. Don't be lazy. Have intellectual curiosity about who Gia Applehouse is.
This is
the art form.
An accurate quote. I want my mafioso pro wrestling storyline to be as real as possible. Put it in a quote of the day book. It's attributed to me.
Frame that and hang it in the
What I
roof.
want. That is what I want. So there were a couple of interviews backstage. One with Mello, who has an all new, I'm just going to say it, all black security contingent now.
Yes.
Those are the guys who are going to be loyal to Mello. I like to just like straight up saying it. Like, no. I handpicked these guys.
Yes.
Like I don't, yes. These guys all are also, they are all also clientele of the barbershop I hang out. They also work out at the same gym I go to. Look at them. I also went out and I went to the Army Surplus store and got them nice little SWAT vests and balaclavas, and they are going to have my back. So he blames Ilya for being such a coward that he wouldn't immediately agree to his one-on-one match with Ilya, and Tony D'Angelo thinks he can get stuff done. Those rent-a-cops. Well, these are the real guys. They're going to have my back in this stuff. They also interview Ilya, and he has complimentary words for Tony D'Angelo. He's I like Tony. I just, the way Ilya talks is just he makes extraneous noises while he talks that I love so much. Like, I like Tony D'Angelo. I think he is smart man. Like he's great. I love him so much. And he says he respects Carmelo's, Carmelo's athletic ability and everything, but he does tend to think of himself in higher terms than maybe he deserves.
Ilya rules.
So Ilya is very, very, very good at this. And yeah.
I do appreciate that this has been a very long, ongoing angle. Mm-hmm. And the Ilya parts of it have been really good. And it does feel like after this very, very long road, we have a tremendous amount of clarity, at least to all three people are right now that have been involved in this thing, which is nice. It took forever to get here. It was extremely convoluted. It was overdone. But right now, heading into Stand and Deliver, we at least know where Carmelo's at, know where Trick's at, know where Ilya's at. Tony D's entering this picture, which is good. But I just appreciate how different Ilya feels than everybody else who's kind of there right now. So good stuff. Like this is good. And yeah, I kind of like Carmelo having like his own team of aces. The only thing that concerns me about this is Carmelo is not a chicken shit heel. He's a confident heel. So I don't want his security guards being excuses to run away from things. I want them to be a reinforcement team or laying in damage or whatever, but he cannot be runaway guy. This is not who you've told me this guy is for years.
No.
Now.
I agree. I liked actually what I saw out of the end of the show.
Yes.
Where they were holding him back from trying to get in and fight Trick Williams. So I like that is where they've gone here. But I also think he's definitely the kind of guy who, no, I'm not going to fight you. You're beneath me. You guys beat him up. Like, I think that there's something there as well. So
they just don't always do that. And because I am your young grasshopper, I decided I would get preemptively angry about them making him that way because I learned from the best.
I just wanted to go ahead and throw this up here from C. Delgado, who says, it's credit to this show that I never almost ever watched NXT. The person I talked to tonight was convinced I did because of how well I was caught up just from Sour Graps. So that makes my heart flutter. So
me too.
Thank you. That really means a lot.
Did they think you hated the show? Wow, that guy definitely watches and he has strong opinions.
He has strong opinions about this
like the
show.
Creative. Why does he watch this?
Yeah.
He must get paid.
So Shawn Spears defeated Uriah Connors. He defeated Brogan Finley. Brogan Finley is the guy's actual name, or at least he's been known by before. So we got to change that. But why change it from something fucking badass like Brogan Finley to Uriah Connors, which is not Uriah? No. But he lost very quickly to Shawn Spears, very, very quickly. So, yeah.
I moved to call him Uriah Carey until he like how we have our nicknames for people.
Sure. I'd have to hear his speaking voice. If it's high, I'll go along with you. There's got to be something in there that actually
connects to Mariah. All
right. Yeah, something.
If he debuted around Christmas, we wouldn't have this
Urethra Connors is good. I don't know if he's got piss issues, but if he does, then that would work. Something like that. But no, it's the only one I know is that there's an old British band called Uriah Heep, and I don't know if there's anything, if he's a hoarder, if he's got heaps of stuff just hanging out in his house. There's got to be a connection there. You know what I mean? Like Double Vest wasn't just Double Vest out of the blue. He was Double Vest because he wore two vests. You know what I mean? It's got to be something.
And how does that translate into the video game, Alex?
He only wears one vest in the video game. It's too bad.
That is a shame. But his partner wears quite an outfit.
It is. Shawn Spears cuts a promo like Ridge Holland, basically realizing that all the little vignettes were about Ridge Holland.
Yes.
One face he shows people, one within him, and so Shawn Spears' contention is that he needs to show the world who the real Ridge Holland is, because the real Ridge Holland is a killer, and relishes doing this, or at least doesn't mind at all the kind of injuries he inflicts on people. So Ridge Holland comes out, and Spears is there to take a beating, like wants it to prove that Ridge Holland is a madman, and so he tries to push away the officials who are trying to stop. We're standing in front of Shawn Spears taking an unprotected chair shot because he wants Ridge Holland to do it because it's going to prove something. And this is the same exact playbook they ran with Bray Wyatt and John Cena in 2014. And I feel like it's not nearly as impactful when it's Ridge Holland and Shawn Spears. But I'm willing to see how this goes. It also just feels very odd that this is these are the chapters we're telling with Ridge Holland in NXT again. Comes back to NXT, gets a random match with the champion where he nearly murders him accidentally, feels bad about it, like has a feud with Gallus where he beats them 1-on-3, but then hits him with a chair, and so we can't trust you. And then Shawn Spears shows up and is like, yes, give in to your anger. Murder me with a chair. It will prove I am right. I will be dead, but I will also be right. I don't know what this is, what we're doing, what this is in aid of exactly. So,
well, I think the story for Ridge Holland is he's been trying to stifle that side of him, and Shawn Spears is saying, "No, lean into it. Like you can't stifle it, you can't control it.
Here's what I'm into if this is what is doing it. If this is mind games of like, once you give into that, I can control it. And if this is like Shawn Spears, like getting Ridge to be like, once this is who you are, then I can mess with your mind enough that you can become a guy I can control, and I can use you to help me win some stuff. That's cool. I don't know what the end game is for Spears, because if Spears takes an unprotected chair shot to the head, which is what he apparently wanted tonight, okay, you proved Ridge Holland is a madman who can't be controlled, but you also proved you have CTE. So like, I don't understand. I understand why that's Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt proving to everyone that John Cena is not who he appears to be. That is a major, major point. Like Shawn Spears doing it to Ridge Holland doesn't hit the same. It just doesn't. So like there's, I don't know, but we will see where this goes.
Yeah, famously, I'm going to be a mark, and I'm going to let this play out because I'm kind of intrigued to see where it goes. I think the story of this guy who's been trying to squelch this side of him this entire time, and then someone else showing up and saying, no, lean into it. There's multiple ways that could go that are interesting to me. They have not earned my trust on paying those off particularly well, but it does seem like there's a plan in place possibly for this. So this one I'm kind of willing to wait out and see where things connect. But
I think Spears has an incredible amount of charisma that will allow this to work. His counterpart does not possess said charisma. So we'll see where all of this goes with this. I trust Shawn Spears to figure out how we're going to make this work. Again, NXT has very narrow pathways towards stuff. And the thing about NXT is that only a very few number of people can actually get where they want to go. So if you say, I'm going to recruit Ridge Holland and he's going to help me become NXT World Champion, I'm like, I mean, I guess Ilya could get called up soon. We'll see about that, but like, I will recruit Ridge Holland and he will help me become North American champion. No, the hell he won't. No, he just ain't, because that guy's taken. That position has been filled. So my thing is now, when you do these storylines and there's all these guys like, I'm going to become champion, I will become champion, I will become champion, and none of them do, what it does is service to put a ceiling on all of them.
Sure.
Like you might be good, this is a cool storyline, but you ain't going to get where you're going. So now what? And I don't love that with a lot of these guys. I love, like, what this is really him trying to take down Ridge Holland and they have a protracted feud between them. Okay, maybe it lasts long enough before he recruits him that by that time there is an opening that he could actually go toward. We need more challengers for the top title at that point. But as we've seen, they don't have a lot of patience with storytelling.
No, they do not.
Would anybody be surprised if he recruits Ridge by the end of their match next week? Because I wouldn't. I already saw them break up Roxanne and Cora after 1 week with the damn titles. So
As champions.
As champions, I have no faith that they have the patience to tell this story over several months.
You said that Shawn Spears has a ton of charisma, and I agree. I feel like he is someone who's been underrated his whole career.
Mm-hmm.
But are you saying that Ridge Holland is not Riz Holland? Thank you.
I am saying he is not Riz Holland. Yes.
Thank you. Very proud of myself.
Ed Maher says Broken Finley is a better name. You're right about that. Huh? That's good. I like that one. You know what? Let's just go back. Let's do a few puns. Before
you want to do some puns?
Matt Gray Sky says Penelope Ford F-150.
Very good.
Michael Dammit says Buick EOS Skylark. True Infamous says Subaru Young.
I'm glad we got a Sue Young one in there.
BMW Morrissey.
That's really good.
Mm-hmm. And Rocky Alfa Romeo. Good stuff. Louisville says Chris Canyonero, which of course is a car from The Simpsons. Chris Pereira says Chevrolet Blue Blazer.
Oh, some heartstring ones right in a row.
So sad.
Chris Canyon and the Blue Blazer.
So sad. True Infamous says Audi Open.
Audi, Audi, Audi.
Oi, oi, oi. Ian R says Von Station Wagner.
Okay, hold on. We have to pause.
I like that one.
Because that's who he is as a car, too, I feel like.
Wagon.
He's
a
such
station
a
wagon.
station wagon.
I
like when the wrestler matches up with the car he would be. That one's obvious.
You can fold my rear seats down and put a table in there. I'll table you.
That also applies with Rocky Alfa Romeo, I feel like. Rocky would be an Alfa Romeo for sure.
Mm-hmm. Chris Pereira says Ford Bronco Nima.
Oh, very nice.
Mm-hmm. Jam Beard says Bam Bam Winnebago. And Alba Tire. Henry the KC says Tucker Knight Rider.
Very nice.
I miss Tucker. You know what?
I love that dude.
I will. I mean, apparently he's very happy just not being in wrestling. But when that guy got released, I was like, that guy's sneaky good. He's sneaky talented in the ring, and he could talk. I would not be surprised to see him in Impact or something. And he just never did anything, which is fine. Like he did. That's prerogative. But I thought that guy had
the era where AEW was sucking up all these NXT talents, and I was like,
yeah,
you chose baseball player Trench over Tucker. Like he was great. I like 3 times was like, Shawn, do you know anything about Tucker? Like I would love to see that guy on AEW Dark. Like just show up and destroy people. I think it'd be fun.
Mm-hmm.
But
Matt Gray Sky says Buick William Regal. Kim Gray says Jeep Liberty Roads.
Oh,
Liberty.
There it is.
One. That's my grandbaby. Now I was like on Liberty. They said we're going to call Liberty Roads, and I was like, that's nice. Are you going to have a second one named Freedoms? Because I feel like you're hitting it on the nose a little bit there with your patriotic neck tattoo and Liberty Roads and Freedom Roads and say can you see roads. It's a bit much. That's all I'm gonna say. Like I love the country as much as the next guy, but not if the next guy is my son, Cody Rhodes. That's what I'll say.
The American dream is like a little steep on the Patriots.
Yeah, listen, my name is the American dream. And I mean, I just saying. I did not name you George Washington Rhodes. I refrained from naming you George Washington Reynolds Rhodes. I did not do it. Hold on. What happened?
Sometimes during the show, while the show's going on, I'm like, what the fuck are we doing?
This. Nobody else does this.
It's my favorite thing, but It's fun when I catch it in real time. Also, Dusty, a great showing yesterday on our select stream.
Yes. Yeah.
Great match.
He won with a bionic elbow.
He did. He had a very interesting moveset.
Chris Pereira says Cyber Trick, not the
Very
Cyber
good.
Truck, because those things are stupid. Cyber Trick, much better. Ian R says Subarush. And Rovan.
Mess with the wheel, get the horns.
Beep beep. It's a different kind of hern. That's a different kind of hern.
It's not a horn.
No, it's not. It's a hern. Rovan F2 says Timeless Tony Geostorm.
Very good. Very nice of him.
Chris Pereira says the Ford Edge, or as it's now known, the Ford Copeland.
The Ford of Copeland is really good.
And Alpha Bill ends us for this part. Tamatonka.
Oh, very nice.
Tonka
very
truck.
nice.
Very good. Mm-hmm. Very good. All right.
Often seen at a roadblock, basically.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. True.
Nice.
So Beach hanging out backstage, and Double Vest walks up to him like, "Hey, man, listen up. I don't know what got into me or whatever. That Hey, I hear you're facing Oba Femi next week. I just feel like that is a bad idea." And
I was like, yes, that is correct.
and you told me to grow some balls, so I did. And I challenged Oba Femi to a match. And Double Vest is like, right. Well, the balls that you are growing are going to be attached to a corpse next week. So I would like you to maybe not have that match. And Brooks is like, well, no, I grew the balls. Now I got to use them because I'm a man. And I'm gonna face Oba Femi next week. You're just jealous because I'm gonna do. No, I know you can do it. I just don't know that. I just don't think you could do it. That's what I'm saying. Like, no, well, I'm gonna do it anyway. And then walks away. And then Dijak, holding his ribs, walks up and goes, "Call him your brother, but you're lying to his face. You know he's dead meat." And I was like, "This is great."
No.
But I also love Dijak saying that because yes, Brooks is dead meat, which means then Double Vest is going to swear revenge. So we're gonna get Double Vest versus Oba Femi, and I'm like, this is fun because he's gonna chuck around. Doesn't matter how big the guys are, he's gonna chuck them around, but not quite as far as if they were tiny. Can we get Nathan Frazier versus him just once? I want to see how far he can throw Nathan Frazier just to see how far he can throw him. Because I feel like that would be kind of fun.
Him toward the hard cam so that if it goes into the crowd, there's nobody there.
Yeah.
I actually liked this segment because
it was good. It was well done.
Yeah. Both things were true. He was like, "You did tell me to grow a sack. What's more of growing a sack than going to face Oba freaking Femi?" Yep. And this was one of the best segments we've seen from the two of them, and it made sense, which is kind of my bar. So I wish it were met more frequently on the show. I feel like a high bar to clear. But this was more grounded. This didn't have the soap opera drama of their previous segment, which was refreshing. It just sounded like two dudes in a conversation, and I loved Dijak coming in like, that's not how a brother treats somebody. That's mean because Oba Femi's gonna kill you.
I think the final form of Oba Femi will be realized when he beats Dijak.
I like that. I
think that everybody like when it used to be with long title reigns, and I hope to God this is a long one for him, unless you're calling him to the main roster and putting a friggin' belt on him on the main roster his first day up there. Oba Femi is the truth and must be booked as such. If you're gonna have a long reign with him, there are chapters with endpoints to it. You know, like here he defeats these guys. Maybe there's a little bit more story in some of the matches, but then like he defeats this guy. That's a milestone. And then you build on that by doing so that the title reign isn't flat. Too many long title reigns are flat. Even when you're the champion, you can still build, especially with a guy who hasn't had that many matches.
Oh, so especially with a guy,
You build to him beating Dijak, and once he's proven he can beat Dijak, well, now what? who comes in after Dijak, who's even got a prayer, and then you build it to the next milestone and the next and the next. I still think I want to see Oba Femi like coming into Ava Rain. I want more. Give me more to fight. Give me bigger. Give me badder. Give me tougher. I want to face the best, and have her be like, okay, well, I mean, you've beaten everybody in the locker room. Go to the other locker rooms. Bring me more. And have him bring down this is where the former North American champion thing they did with Wesley, bring down Cameron Grimes. He's doing nothing. You know what I mean? And have him hit the cave-in like right off the top. Like run in, jump as high as he can, hit the cave-in on Oba Femi. And Oba Femi just sits up, stands up. And then, oh crap, now what? There's really cool stuff you could do there. And the next milestone after Dijak, you build, more, tougher. Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed, who comes
John
down.
Wick just said Ivar, but yes, like same, yeah.
And Bronson Reed is the guy that he has to beat next to get to that point. And once you've beaten Bronson Reed, then he says, there is nothing else for me to do except for that title that guy's carrying. I don't know if it's going to be Ilya by then. I hope it is because they already teased it. But I feel like you give him 2 major milestone victories against real competition. And then he says, there is no other competition for me to crush except for the man who holds the biggest belt in the land. And that's what I'm coming for. This is the thing that they feel like they should be doing with Gunther. Gunther should be like, yes, I'm the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time, but I would also be the greatest fill in the blank champion of all time. Why don't I have all the belts? And I feel like Oba Femi, especially because he doesn't know any better yet, can be like, there is nothing that can topple me. And have it be true until somebody does. I don't know who that is. That person might not even exist yet. But the person who topples him should be a guy who just figures out a way. Doesn't beat him because he beats him, but somehow gets a victory over Oba Femi, which can then light up,
the closest thing to Johnny Gargano that you could find would be my choice in that. I like that trajectory a lot, and I love Dijak being almost in a different way, but like in the Lance Archer role of AEW, where it's like, I'm not the title guy, but you have to get to me to get through the title. Jericho's kind of in that role. Nyla Rose was definitely in that role on the women's side for a bit. Like that, hey, I don't have the title, but I'm the most important guy here without a title role is a really good one for Oba Femi to have to be. And I do agree with the progression and the chapters that you laid out.
That Javon Evans kid.
Oh, yeah.
And here's honestly what I feel like what I would love for him is the guy the first time, because again, you want to be thinking far enough out that you can book backwards. So the guy who beats Oba Femi should face Oba Femi for the first time and lose in an absolute squash. But this is months out from his actual successful title getting from him. So the first time we see this guy face him, we like, oh crap, Jesus. That should be our reaction to watching Oba Femi beat him. And then have him be like, okay, well, obviously that was my plan of just throwing my body at him as hard as I can didn't work. I don't care how hard I spring off the springboard, it's not going to work. So then he tries again. And he tries again. And every time he gets closer and closer and closer until he finally does. And from what I've seen of Javon Evans, Jay Malachi, he's the perfect guy to do it.
Yeah.
Like that kind of it's a comic book thing where like who doesn't want to watch Spider-Man versus the Hulk when the Hulk smashes Spider-Man 4 times in a row and then finally Spider-Man figures out a way to beat the Hulk.
Sure.
That's cool. Build me that. Don't be like, well, here's a guy who beats him. Like, actually do the work because you have something here with these really cool young characters that you can build a new era of NXT Once Melo and Bron and Ilya Dragunov are gone, you got to build a whole new era. Like, this is the way you do that.
And to you, like, I appreciate that Oba Femi and what's around him feels pretty much completely different than anything else on the main roster. He does, you said Gunther before, he kind of feels like they're Gunther. Very different type, but like that unbeatable champion, send me whoever's next kind of stuff is really refreshing to have on a show like this, especially because, unfortunately, the Heritage Cup did get goofier again and overbooked City. So having something that feels like this very real, grounded, sports-based staple in a world of wackadoo stuff is really refreshing. I would love to see... I would love Take No Prisoners Oba Femi, and I prefer builds like that when he's facing a bunch of... when the path's very versatile, when it's like a lucha guy, and then a guy who is average size with a more creative move set, and then a bigger guy like Bronson Reed or whatever. Like, have him face every type of challenger, jobber to top of the NXT card in that process. Because
if they're in the process of turning Noam Dar face,
yes, perfect. Yeah,
like if I can just bring him down to the ground and lock in a knee bar and just keep doing it so the big man can't stand, then eventually I can hit the Nova Roller on him when he's on his knees and maybe stun him enough to get a pinfall. And the thing with Oba Femi is he's just so big. How do you get him down for the first knee bar? Like, there's some really cool stuff you can do there. That could be a milestone. Honestly, Noam Dar, former Heritage Cup champion, you could do that. So yeah, there's some good stuff.
This is just the most beautiful thing in the world: meat versus Tuckers.
Jambeard says, do the 5-man North American ladder match: Oba versus Dijak, Gacy, Axiom, and Briggs. I hope Briggs gets his title shot before then, so we can get rid of him, get him out of there, because I would want to put another guy who can do fun stuff off a ladder.
He'll be
because if you already have Oba and Dijak in there, then you've got the dudes who like put a ladder on their head and spin around. You got the guy who like throw people into ladders. I want guys who jump off of ladders too. You gotta get that right.
Nathan Fraser, 100%.
There we go. Luis says, too much meat in that ladder match. We need some beef jerky with some cruiserweights. So we hear that if Tater Paxley becomes the champion, she's going to suck the souls out of people, and then she'll finally be happy.
It's a very Audrey 2 situation, it sounds like, with Tater Paxley.
Weird. It's
very weird. Her eye makeup today reminded me of, I forget her name, the character in Glow, the TV series, where she had like the raccoon eye things. But she was one of my favorites on the show. Like, her character development was very fun. Lyra Valkyria was like, you should be prepared for the possibility that she might lose. And she was like, I am woefully ignorant to the fact that we might lose because we have to win, because the titles and everybody's souls. She's kind of Ursula. She's like, your souls will be mine. All I need is your voice.
A little bit.
I still don't know why the champ would be like, that crazy gal seems like a good friend. I know she helped in a match, but it seems weird. And I also don't know what the obsession with Lyra Valkyria is. If you wanted to go after tag titles.
Right. Yeah.
Like, it was
specifically Lyra, it was odd. This match was
not the best, unfortunately.
No, it was unfortunately sloppy and not great. The Kabuki Warriors are really good. It just didn't feel like they had chemistry. There were just things that didn't look right, unfortunately. And it is odd that, like, I mean, oh no, I accidentally kicked you. That leads to our losing. But like, you kicked your in the shoulder. I'm sorry. She's very short, and the people who are also as tall as her, she cannot seem to get the angle to have the kick come anywhere near somebody where it would actually knock them out. So she keeps hitting people in the shoulders, in the shoulder blades, in the bicep, and like it just she hit Tatum in the meat of the deltoid, and because she had to, Tatum had to sell like she was knocked out, and it didn't work. It's not a good spot. It's a bad spot whenever you do it. Oh no, I accidentally kicked you. Oh, like it's a thing that they do all the time. But if you didn't actually hit them in the head, you can't do the spot. So Tatum ends up getting pinned. And I honestly, I have no idea if Asuka and Kairi struggled so mightily against these two in this kind of match, what prayer do they have against Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler on Monday? You know what I mean? Like an actual tag team that works really well together and are not going to fall for this kind of crap. At least they shouldn't. If they're probably booked to fall for the same kind of crap.
I was hoping this match would be a little stronger than it was, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I said to you before we went on air, I feel like NXT sometimes has a propensity to treat tag matches like they're easier than singles matches, when I personally feel like as a viewer, the thing that makes great tag matches is infinitely harder to create than a singles match. Because we didn't get a ton of story in this. I didn't feel like we didn't get a ton of story between Tater Paxley and Lyra too much until the end spot, which I get what they were attempting. It didn't go well. But it just fell. Sometimes good wrestlers just have bad chemistry. Like I remember, I always use this as the example because it blows my mind. One of the matches I was most excited for was Asuka versus Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. I remember being so excited for that, and it just didn't work. And then they did it a second time at Backlash, and it didn't work. And the third time, it was pretty good. It was really good. But Rhea Ripley's phenomenal, and Asuka's phenomenal. So it just happens sometimes. I think when you take weird chemistry and you combine it with a tag team that hasn't gelled together, and wrestlers who are still in developmental, still working on this, it just didn't work. It didn't click in tonight. Doesn't mean all that much in the long run, but it does mean to me, if I was Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark in character, I would be pissed because they have had a tag shot since the beginning of the year that they have not been able to cash in on. I was glad to see them on Monday get a win, but they already had a contendership. So what are they doing? But I was kind of bummed because I was rooting for this match to want it to be good, and it just didn't go the way that it did. And I thought from a psychology standpoint, we would have just seen more storytelling between Tatum Paxley and Lyra that would have given us more to sink our teeth into it. It just wasn't there. So I feel like I don't know. I think the angle needed a strong match tonight, and we didn't get it because it's just kind of weird between Lyra and Potato.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also weird. I'll continue to say it's weird. Roxanne comes in, attacks Lyra from behind, knocks her into Tatum, who falls out of the ring, and then she's not involved with the rest of it. She bends her arm back over the turnbuckle and does a version of like the El Sacrificio, the arm breaker thing. But she pulls her arm back over it and leaves it there. And she's holding it down in place with with her foot. And then she jumps way up, leaving Lyra, I don't know, 2-3 seconds to just move her own arm out of the way. And she just doesn't. And whenever I see that, I'm like, come on. Like there's spots where people like have their hands standing there, and then they just keep their fingers on the mat where there's nothing holding them there to get stomped on. And I'm like, just move your hand. Move your hand. Like if you're holding their hand there and then you stomp on it, fine. But like it just whatever. So she's broken Lyra's arm, which is a great way to get a title match with Lyra Valkyria. So it just makes Roxanne dumb. And then their reaction to it is to put her on a stretcher. She didn't break her leg. She didn't hurt her head or her neck. She hurt her arm, and they put her on a stretcher. Weak, frail Lyra Valkyria, the champion since October. And then wheel her to the back, put her in an ambulance, and take her to a local medical facility so that she can get an MRI on her injured elbow. And it just none of this felt good to me, mainly because I'm sorry. To me, in hindsight, especially in hindsight, at the time, I know Lyra and Becky are homegirls and they love each other, and that was who Becky wanted to drop to. In hindsight, it has not been a good reign. One of the very first things they did, it feels like to me, it wasn't one of the very first ones, but like, I guess it was after Deadline. Deadline is when Cora Jade came back.
Yes.
The week after Deadline, Cora Jade pinned Lyra. Clean, basically. I mean, it was underhanded, but not illegal what she did to her. And pinned her in a tag match, non-title. The last woman to get pinned as the champion in a non-title match in NXT, you got to go back to 2021, I think. Like EO, or even 2020 was EO champion in 2020.
I was gonna say, I think, yeah.
It's been a long time since they've said, we should do. We should pin our women's champion in a non-title match. We should do that. And then the worst part about it is, unfortunately, just because wrestling is wrestling, Cora Jade then gets injured. And so they can't do the Cora Jade versus Lyra feud they wanted to do. And so they moved to this. In hindsight is always 2020. If you have Becky drop it to babyface Roxanne, you would never get because she was still babyface at the time. We never got Becky versus Roxanne. I don't think we did. Like, at least not while Becky was champ. So like there was something to do there, and I still think Roxanne works so much better as a babyface. Just everything about her feels that.
The crowd was rooting for her tonight.
And they were cheering, yay, Roxanne, break her arm. Like, I don't know what this is.
Yeah, that's not a heel turn. That we talk about it on here, that sometimes that crowd goes into business for themselves, right? So they root for who they want to root for. They don't always play along to what the program tells you. But it does feel like a bad sign that the crowd was rooting for Roxanne to break the champion's arm. That's not how that spot's supposed to go at all. And I think it's because people genuinely want to cheer for Roxanne. I'm also disappointed that I think the Becky reign was great. I think they did a really good job with her while she was there. Her matches with Tiffany were both really good, very different. But we never really got like a proper Tiffany and Roxanne feud, and that feels like the biggest missed opportunity of that division. Don't get that,
man. It was like
tailor-made babyface, tailor-made heel.
Yeah, and I also thought like you could, because of the way generations quote unquote work in wrestling, like that generation in NXT, starting it in NXT. I mean, sorry, that generation of women in WWE, starting it in NXT with with Roxanne chasing Tiffany, being the one to dethrone Tiffany, and Tiffany never forgiving her for it, and having that, now that you can actually talk about NXT storylines on the main roster when you want to, having that be the catalyst for everything that happens between them. Like, if you look at on a long enough timeline, Tiffany versus Roxanne is absolutely a WrestleMania women's title match in the future. Wouldn't it be great if we had their first feud together in NXT to build on and tell that story? You have the opportunity to tell those things, but you don't. Instead, you do whatever it is where, like, I have anxiety, which makes me collapse, and you strip me of the title and I never get it back.
And I'm a loser because of it. a great message to send. I also feel like the trouble with this Lyra reign is I don't know who beats her. It like to me
heel Roxanne.
That's what I'm guessing we're leading toward is heel Roxanne winning it, Stand and Deliver. I feel like Blair Davenport, they already did that story, but that would have been a good possibility. So I think heel Roxanne gets it back, and I would prefer her win it as a face, but I'd do it right this freaking time. Like, give it to her and give her a reign.
Well, we will. I don't know. What happened to Lola Vice? This is the other thing I was talking about, like building somebody to something that just having to disappear. I don't know if she's hurt. I don't know if she's hurt. You built to her cashing in. She has that triple threat. She lost. She had a match versus Roxanne, I think, right after that, but then she also got rid of she beat Elektra on her way to the main roster. It feels like a month or 6 weeks? 2 months? Since we've seen Lola Vice. And again, this is a woman who is a great striker. I have to look at it from their point of view in the way they classify stuff. Latina smoke show who can knock you out with one kick. How is that somebody you don't build around? Like, how is that somebody who's not on television every week? She's wrestling on Level Up. Level Up. What? That's leveling down. You leveled her down. That is by
definition leveling down.
You leveled her down.
Well, I'm just messaged Corey to see if he had any information. So let me just message him. Never mind. She's on Level Up.
She competed last week on Level Up, beating Ren Sinclair on Level Up last week.
Okay, so it's just a reps thing because Ren Sinclair's been on the main roster too. Yeah, I don't know why there's no follow-up plans for her. It does feel like, man, it feels like we get a ton of screen time for the women, but like Gigi Dolan should feel really important. And Blair Davenport should feel really important.
The ball with those two, man.
Like there's so much there.
As soon as Mandy got fired, you call them up as a unit, make them toxic attraction on the main roster. They'd still be together. They'd still be a force. It would be great. But you did what you did, and now Jacy Jane is making calendars and chase you, and Gigi Dolan is facing Ariana Venti. And if she loses to Ariana Venti, then Ariana Venti gets to make her a prim and proper lady. It's a Wrestl-icious ass storytelling.
I was just gonna say Wrestl-icious. Yeah, I don't know. I applaud the screen time. I always do, but the efficiency of how that screen time is used, not so much.
Luis speculating that Rox is going to get called up on the SmackDown after Mania, so she'll get all the way back to having another title shot versus Lyra, lose it, and get called up. I don't know, man.
I don't know. I would hope more around SummerSlam time because I feel like the angle would be her to be a face with Bayley than to be a heel.
It's hard to call her up into a SmackDown that's got Damage Katarl and Tiffany Stratton in it. Unless you just say,
as a heel,
we were just doing funny stuff with her as a heel. She's a babyface on the main roster. They could easily do that. So,
Yes. And they do from time to
time. Horse Girl talking to Riley and Milesy Rouseborn about Thea and how he wanted the bubbly Thea, but he got the one playing hard to get, and so whatever. I just think she's getting really bad advice. But I'm like, okay, well, thank you for letting me talk. And then Blair Davenport walks up and is like, how are you giving advice to anything about anybody to anything or anyone about anything? And then why don't we have a match in the ring about it? Says Horse Girl to Blair Davenport, and it's like, by the way, Thea's not your type, and then Horse Girl's like, how would you know anything about Riley's type? Because they're married in real life. Because
they're engaged for realsies.
Yeah, I thought that was, and also I was looking at that. I'm like, how the hell does that work? Because like Riley Osborne's like, oh gee shucks, I don't even know what I'm gonna do. A girl so weird, and Blair is like, you here now, and I feel like maybe that's how it works.
Maybe that's how it works.
Maybe that's how it works. Horse Girl defeats Blair because Sol Ruka shows up. And I
Yay!
appreciate that they're telling the story of that. You can't just go around injuring all these girls because you've staggered their injuries long enough that as soon as you get past one of them coming back for revenge, another one's going to show up. And I
Two
like
of them
that
got re-injured,
well, yeah,
by the way.
true.
Like, that's a bummer.
But I like the Soul Ruka's here. She's doing her spectacular. She did like a cartwheel, the DDT on the barricade. It was fun. Soul Ruka versus Blair Davenport is something I can get behind.
Yes, certainly.
We will see. They were a lot planned. It seemed to be at the time for Soul Ruka, but then she got hurt, and now I don't know. I don't know what the development has been doing with like character work and promos and stuff. We'll see where her ceiling is in this particular division. Blair Davenport's ceiling to me certainly is NXT Women's Champion.
Definitely.
I don't know if they have plans for that, but she absolutely can slot into that part. She just can't right now because they're just doing other things with her. But like if you told me Lyra's going to hold the title for another 5-7 months and Blair's the one who takes it off of her, I mean, like, I think that's far too long of a reign for Lyra Valkyria. But if Blair's the one who takes it off of her, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, Blair Davenport's great. She was great before she got here. She did a ton of work in Japan and the UK. I'm very much behind her, and I feel as though she'd be an awesome champion. I also feel like she's one of those people that because she's good with kind of everybody, she might just get hot-shotted to the main roster without getting a title reign. They seem to do we're going to give you a title reign even if it's a week because we wanted the record books kind of thing. So I would like for her to have it at some point, but she's great. Very happy Soul Ruka is back as reported by FightfulSelect.com.
That's right.
So check out our scoops thread there. The wonderful and Irish, as everybody has noted on the show, Corey Brennan has been doing an excellent job getting some scoop skis, except for weeks where it's a pre-tape, which, as you guys know, is BS. But that was reported by us earlier, which was great. Very happy about that. And also glad that she looked good in the little that she did here. Like I was glad to see her back, and it seems like she'll be back to her old ways in a good way. So very excited about that. But Alex, after our Wrestl-icious discussion and analysis, I would lay money that HBK watched Wrestl-icious because we saw a gimmick like Soul Ruka's in the intro to that. But I would not want to bet on anything if I was uneducated about the things that I was betting on. And I would want the best betting odds available to me. And I know exactly where I would go. Do you know why I know exactly where I would go?
No.
Because Sean Ross Sapp tells me all the time, and now he's going to tell all of you.
BetOnline.ag is the official betting partner of Fightful. 100% of the time when you get the odds from Fightful, they are coming from BetOnline.ag. And it's not just wrestling, it's not just MMA and boxing. It's football, it's basketball, baseball, hockey. They have the earliest lines. You can bet big with the high limits and rebet functionality. They have the fastest payouts with winnings paid in minutes and the industry's best bonuses on every qualifying deposit. They've been trusted for 25 plus years. It's not some fly-by-night company. BetOnline AG has been there. They've done that. In addition, they're trusted by millions. They've got VIP rewards programs and a ton of popular games. BetOnline.ag. That's where I go to make my bets. That's where I suggest you go to, my friends. Please just bet what you can and bet responsibly.
We're also going to take a moment because we have a lot more viewers than we normally do here. So thank you so much for tuning in. People, I guess, are paying attention to Roadblock. We will remind you to also subscribe to FightfulSelect.com. Best scoops, best video gameplay behind the paywall, best silliness that you could get with us. But some things that went up there earlier today, an AEW suspension that unfortunately occurred. More contract news going to be coming down the pike all year. Tons of information about NXT, tons of information about Revolution. Kyle O'Reilly return, which I legitimately cried at, as well as the Pac return, which I also legitimately cried at because I was so happy. Tons of good stuff happening on Fightful Select. Get clear and accurate information behind the paywall. Best $5 in the biz for sure. But the most important part of it is you get more of me and Alex being extremely serious all the time, as usual. So if you're tuning in and you like this, there's a whole lot more of it on FightfulSelect.com.
So the No Quarter Catch crew celebrates their victory last week with a freshly polished cup in the ring, where they state that the No Quarter Catch rules means that not only could any of them challenge for the title, but now any of them can defend the title.
Correct.
Looks like it's wide open. If you want, if it happens to be Damon Kemp's week, it looks like you win the title back. So that's good. Charlie Dempsey is out there. Drew Gulak mentions that they're going to enter the Eliminator tournament to decide who's going to be the challengers to the Wolf Dogs, but he says, as announced earlier today by Ava Rain, but I can't find that anywhere. So I don't know if he mentioned that before he was supposed to or what, but that's interesting. They're going to pick 2 guys and they're going to be in a tag tournament if there's going to be a tournament. I don't know. But the big deal is
just do the Dusty.
Yeah, we did. Don't even get me started on how ridiculous any of that is, but it may have just been Drew Gulak making up stuff. So we'll see.
This dog is unplugging my white girl light again.
We got William Regal.
We did, which means we get a returning impression.
We get William Regal coming out, and we literally get the crowd going, "He's your father!" Clap, 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 clap. And I'm like, "Oh, all right." It was announced on Twitter, Luis. I could not find it anywhere. Where? It was not announced on NXT.com or NXT's Twitter. I looked for it everywhere. Where was it? Whatever. I don't know where it is.
I am glowing like an angel.
Okay.
Dear Lord.
He says, "This cup means a lot to British wrestling, and I just want to see it defended in the right way." And yeah, and then Charlie Dempsey is like, which is so hard for me because he looks like he should sound like William Regal, but he doesn't.
I know.
And so he's like, "I'll defend this cup better than you ever could." And William Regal's like, "Yes. Quite." He's like, "I'll take you across my knee, sunshine." Like, he should have said something, but he didn't say anything like that. This was really cool. I'm really legitimately excited for William Regal to be more heavily involved. Like, if this basically becomes Blackpool Combat Club Orlando chapter, I'm fine with that, because him leading, Charlie Dempsey, who's really talented, but has only ever basically just done jobs.
Yes.
So like him winning the cup is interesting. And this, it seems like it's not like like it was before, where like we're just waiting for Noam Dar to win the cup back, because there's a backstage segment where he's just catatonic and Ora Mensa and Lash Legend don't know what to do with him, and then she's like, talks to him, and he's like happy about something, and I completely missed what he was happy about. He's looking at the meta future, he says. So like, I don't know. I have no idea what this is. He's catatonic because he's lost in thought, not because he's depressed. So that's good.
He's thinking of me.
Okay.
He's like, we need a fifth.
Right.
It needs to be this white girl who talks about wrestling online all the time, who does one impression and sings several songs in it. That's what is going through his head. He was like, it's time for us to expand to the Meta 5. The Meta 4 couldn't fully get it done.
Right.
So that makes me happy. I'm very excited to join. We'll keep you posted. I'll probably tell Corey Brennan. You can read about it on Fightful Select. Me joining Meta 5. But we were correct in our assumptions that they were dirty babyface. I think that's what we got. A little bit more with that too. So that's very excited for William Regal to be back. Happy for Charlie Dempsey. Still nervous about tactical wrestling under a time limit, because that's a very difficult thing to do. But I like the Heritage Cup a lot. So if it gets back on track from being something that's like schmoz fest device and feels like prestigious, which is what William Regal kind of alluded to today. I think that could be very cool. So I'm looking for that. That was the thing that I liked the most on the program for a while. So
yeah. It's great to see William Regal back where he belongs. It's like, yes, it's quite good to see the rest of you as well. Like he's just so nice. Like he's just such a adoring fans, and it's so nice for him to see them. It was cool. I like this. So main event, Carmelo Hayes with his security guys coming out. Tony D'Angelo comes out by himself. Nobody else out here, and I was like, okay. So
Sus.
I guess he is. Maybe he's fully babyfacing it as well. If he doesn't have like he just hired a brand new goon and he did not bring him with him to the ring. Like they're babyfacing it. So okay. Before we get to this, Luis reminds me of this friggin' Mr. Stone segment where he's sworn revenge against Lexus King. I'm a man, and as a
man, man.
Now I'm a husband, husband. I am a father, father. Like it's basically that over and over.
But he's not a bad fodder. He's trying to be a good fodder.
No. But he's like, Vaughn, I was the only one who believed in you. And I was like, yeah, because everybody else could see he was terrible at this. But like I was the only one who believed in you. You have to believe in me and step aside so that I can face Lexus King by myself. And I'm like, oh, this is everybody's bucket list match. Brian Pillman Jr. versus Robbie E. Let's see how this plays out. This is going to be good. All right, cool. So this is a thing that's going to happen. But
this might be the most I ever liked Von Wagner because he goes, "Oh yeah, okay," or whatever.
Yeah. No, all right. No, whatever you say.
No, you got to do what you got to do.
No, it's cool. If you need help, any help tabling him, just you let me know. So I'll do that. So Tony D'Angelo versus Carmelo Hayes is really good. Tony D'Angelo is one of those guys that you forget A, just how good he is, but B, how strong he is.
It's that for me every single time.
It's one of those things where he did a really cool transition where it was like a double leg takedown, forward somersault, stands up with the guy on his shoulders, gets up here like this, just does this, flip, just this, just does this, and the guy goes fling into a back body drop. Like he's stupid strong, and you can tell by the way that everything from mid torso up is just coiled muscle. He doesn't have like 2% body fat like these guys, but like there's all of this strength in his deltoids, his trapezius, his upper chest, and he's fling, and the guy goes flying. His suplexes are awesome. They gnarly. Got snap to him. He chucks people for distance. This is some really good stuff. And he plays a really good baby face when Mello is getting all of his stuff in. This is some really, really good.
I unironically really want Eddie Kingston versus Tony D. Like, legitimately, because those suplexes are so gnarly and he's so strong. It's crazy how he'll just like plant and do something. Like, there's not a ton of I don't even know. There's not a ton of work that goes into any of it. Like it is just brute strength often. Yeah. So I liked this. I like getting to see Tony D in action, in singles action here. This was good without an overabundance of crap in it. Like, we got a lot of actual just ring time, which was really refreshing. Yep. And Mello's mellow. So of course that was going to be great. But it is very nice as we're kind of shifting what the Tony D'Angelo family looks like a little bit, to have a match like this being a catalyst for telling the story of where this is going is really refreshing. I love watching him, man. Like, he's a blast. He's he's one of those guys that I think people will be like, oh, well, it doesn't look like Takeshita's suplex or whatever. And you're like, yeah, but it looks like he's beating the hell out of someone, doesn't it? Like it's not always like the cleanest stuff, but it is strong. And it makes me think that next time we do a little video game match, Alex, we should have Oba Femi versus Tony D.
Well, they're going to have to figure something out and download a patch because Xbox cannot download any creative wrestlers. So Oba Femi's not in the. There's a lot of people from NXT who are not in the game this year, nor will they be part of DLC, which is kind of crazy. Also, they still have the Trick Williams model from 2022. He's put on like 30 pounds of muscle, and he doesn't look like that in the game, and that's dumb. So, like, Oba Femi's not in the game. That's honestly, that's enough for me to get my money back. But apparently, you can download them, just not on Xbox where I am. So that's a problem.
We do have to talk about this because we're on the main right now, and we talked about it on Select. But
yeah,
double vest in the beach.
Well, listen, double vest. Subscribe to Fightful Select. I believe it is our Friday night show where we go into depth about how about how the beach only looked like this one time in his entire career, but they made him this model in the game. That he looked like that one time, spring break again last year in April. By the end of the match, he was turning babyface again. He was heel for 14 days. And
dressed
then
like this once.
Dressed like this one time in his life. Those trunks have never been worn since. But now they made him look like this in the game, which is kind of dumb because also his default tag partner is Double Vest, who looks like Double Vest, and Beach does not look like Beach. It's weird. Anyway.
It was imperative to me that we talked about that on the main.
I understand. Tony D is in prime position to get Nothing But Net dropped on his skull, and then Trick's music hits, and Mello looks angry, not scared, angry, and all of his boys, his security guys, turn around to look for him, and he's not coming down the ramp, and then eventually Mello knows what's up, turns around directly into the amazing twisting fisherman suplex.
So good.
That he does that is just so fast. And Tony D pins him. And then afterwards, Tony D gets on the mic and says, yeah, sorry everybody about that. The little ruse that I had to run. But never let it be said that I am not a giving Don. So Mello, got you a little present. There's Trick. Trick comes out. They hit the music again. The first time they hit the music, the crowd leapt to their feet. They were singing the Whoop That Trick, and they were so disappointed that he didn't actually show up.
Yep.
They forgot to cheer when the guy they had been cheering the whole match. They had been cheering for Tony D the whole match, chanting for him, all this stuff. And they forgot to cheer for Tony D because they were so upset that
about Trick
didn't come out. So it was nice for Tony D to actually be like, okay, everybody, here's your Trick. And Trick Williams came out and fought off all the security guys. And Mello was like, hold me back. And they were literally holding him back. He wanted to get in the ring and fight Trick. So we are getting the double main event for Stand and Deliver. Trick versus Mello and Ilya versus Tony D. Ilya's retaining. I feel like Trick has to beat Mello, and then you send Mello to the main roster. I feel like that's straight up how that's got to work, right?
Yes. The end of the match was unfortunate of the crowd reaction because there's this overhanging story. Trickster versus all of security popped me.
Yeah.
Why not? Let's do it.
He's jacked, man.
He is.
Trick is jacked. Like he's 6'3", and he's put on a lot of weight to fill out that wide receiver body. Like he looks big now.
Yeah.
And so this is going to be it's him versus Mello has been brewing now for a long time. It's going to be they know each other so well. This is I anticipate they're going to want to really show out and make this match mean something and be really spectacular. And I feel like Tony D, I think Ilya just hitting Tony D with strikes. And if Tony D gets a hold of him, like Ilya's small enough that Tony D could German suplex that dude across the ring,
And he'll sell it
and
like
then
crazy.
Ilya like contorting his back and looking, and then getting up and then running up and throwing a headbutt directly into the guy's face. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be really great.
So many times where I get mad at wrestlers being good at their jobs because he's going to sell the injuries so well, and I'm going to be like, I hate this part of this.
Yeah.
But yes, I think that'll be very fun. I think that'll be a very fun direction to go. I wouldn't be surprised if you. I would feel like Trick and Melo might actually close over the title because of the length of the story and the importance of it. And I do think Melo probably moves up, and you're closing with this feel good moment of Trick getting the win in all likelihood.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited, man. Those are good matches with some story actually built into them, which is refreshing. And I'm glad that we got to see a healthy Tony D'Angelo in the ring tonight, and that we'll be seeing it in an important spot too. Because that's the problem with characters like this, is you can put them in stuff that doesn't have titles and they make it feel good, or you can have them in title pictures, which I think Tony D deserves at this point. So good stuff.
Jambeard is saying, gotta admit, I was wrong about Trick. Really didn't think there was anything to him last year as Melo's sidekick, but now he feels like he went through the Swerve body transformation and is so improved in the ring right now. That guy, back when he was like wearing boxing gloves and dancing around the ring with Wes Lee, like it was like, really, are we still making believe this guy's not just a manager?
Yes.
And I can't believe I ever had that thought. But I also can't believe that dude improved at the rate that he did. It was like one of those things of him being like, oh, okay. So if I just do these 28 things, I'll be a wrestler. And he was like, I'm doing all of them now. Like footwork, timing, all the stuff he did to get faster and stronger, and like the psychology, selling, all of that stuff. It was like he picked it up over a single weekend because he wasn't doing any of it, and then he was doing all of it. And I was like, whoa. How did we do that? How did that happen? There was no incremental. We watched Tiffany Stratton.
I was just going to say that.
We watched Tiffany Stratton incrementally improve and going, she's getting better and better every match. Trick, it was like, whoa, you're a different dude than you used to be.
You rule now, all of the sudden. I say it all the time on here because it's true. It's the most rewarding part of what we get to do when we talk about this show, is get to see that kind of growth. His being so lightning fast was like almost deceiving, and it really did feel like a different dude. It was you say whoop that Trick. It was like he flipped that switch. Like it was crazy. And I was gonna say the exact same thing about the other most quickly improved person to me is Tiffany Stratton, and hers was this clicked in, that clicked in, this clicked in, that clicked in. I'm working on this, I'm working on that. Trick was like, whoop, overnight.
It was like he was Neo in the Matrix, where somebody plugged something into the back of his head, and he wakes up and goes, "I know kung fu." Like that's how fast the dude improved. It was crazy.
I wonder, because he had independent experience. I wonder if it was just like getting used to a new environment and TV and all that kind of stuff. Like maybe that was the case, and then he settled into the wrestler that he could be. But it's been a pleasure to see that kind of development, truly.
Jambeard says, does Kate know about Roadblock from WCW? And Luis told her about it. So
yes, Luis did tell me about it. He said, if you are a fan of Big Josh, which of course I am, let me tell you about Roadblock from WCW specifically this week. So
I believe he had like 16 matches on television, and that's it. Like he was just a dude who carried some road construction equipment to the ring, and that was about it. Jambeard says, you have to admit, Alex, R-Truth is basically Lionel Hutz. I admit nothing. Lionel Hutz is one of the greatest characters in Simpsons history, voiced by the indomitable Phil Hartman, rest in peace. And our truth is not. Ian
He's
R
not even
says,
on The Simpsons.
Kyle O'Reilly Auto Parts. Ow! Yes, people who were watching, who are not normally here, we do puns about wrestling. This week it's car puns because it's Roadblock. Keep up!
Yeah, keep up, people. We also do impressions, so shit's gonna get real weird soon.
Tom LaValle says Kia Soul Train Jones, R.I.P. Virgil.
Oh.
Who, as we found out this week, worked everybody and was actually 10 years older than everybody thought he was until he died. Until he died!
A carny worker.
Yeah, my God! Everyone thought, like, his obituaries said the wrong damn birth date.
He worked WWE. They put out the tweet with his age on it.
Yep.
My God.
Matt Gray Sky says Chevy Apollo Cruise.
Very nice. That poor dude.
Jambeard says MJF, Maserati, Jeep, Ferrari.
Very nice. Sorry, I just saw a regular chat where Ben said SGS shit's gonna get real weird.
Kim Gray says my first car was a pickup truck. Ford Ranger Frog Splash.
Very nice.
Kim
Gray.
Greg Cherry says Whiskey India, November, Delta, Sierra, Hotel, India, Echo, Lima, Delta, windshield.
Dun 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 do you need more wiper fluid is all I'm asking.
Jambeard says Mercedes-Benz Monet. Mad Mazda, the Impaler.
Very nice. Next rules.
True Infamous says Peyton Rolls Royce, Dan Lamborghini.
Ooh, both very good. Nice.
Alpha Bill says Wheelie Yuta. Papa Wheelie Yuta.
Young Wheelie Utah.
Jambeard also says MJF is Maserati, Jeep, Ferrari. Chris Perez says Honda Odyssey Jones. I miss Odyssey Jones. What the heck's he doing?
Oh, where's that guy?
Chris Pereira says Ford Drake Maverick.
Oh, Drake Maverick.
Ian Riccaboni says DeLorean Riccaboni.
Way to put yourself over, bro.
Jambeard says Prince Nana swerves when he drives. He does. And To Electric Mayhem says Mantaurus.
Very good.
Mantar. Yuka Sakataxi.
Nice.
Alpha Bill says Buick Boogs.
Oh, a Buick. Buick Boogs.
Mm-hmm. True Infamous says Mercedes Hyundai. Mercedes Hyundai. Mercedes Hyundai. Nexus Lexus.
Very nice. Lexus King. You could really just.
Yeah. Louisville says Iraqi Romero.
Very nice.
Meet Normus says Serena Jeep. Bianca Chevy Bel Air.
Very nice.
Mustang Adam Page. Mustang Man.
Mustache Adam Page, am I right?
Mustang Man Adam Page.
There it is.
Meet Normus says it's a new Daewoo. Yes, it is. Laganza del Fantasma.
Nice.
Lieutenant Colonel Photo says rear view Miro. Cam Watson says Camaro Hayes. Michael Branson says Kia Soul Ruka.
Very nice.
Tom LaValle says J. White Ford Bronco. If you know, you know. Tom LaValle says Mikey car wreck.
Oh.
Also, Crash Holly.
Depressing, but here for them.
Ian R says Ferrari Dolan. Ferrari Dolan.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Ferrari Dolan. True Infamous says GMCM Punk.
GM Punk. GM Punk.
Kota Mitsubishi. C. Delgado says Rye Hatchback. Jambeard says Black Taurus Station Wagon. Ian R says Volvoba Family. Volvoba Family. I'm only putting an L in there. Volvoba Femi.
There it is.
Meet Norma says Ford Pinto El Zero Miedo. CM Trunk. Jade NASCAR Gill.
Very nice.
Christian Roll Cage. Peyton Rolls Royce. The Great Commuta.
Oh, that's so great. And I live in Jersey, so I appreciate that even more.
Jambeard says Power Wagon Hobbs.
Power wagon.
And Tom Novelli says RV Truth. Okay.
Nice. We're 2 more away from the nicest pun count ever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For just 2 more puns, you can make 69 jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Sally Struthers sing it.
Mm-hmm.
The Great Commuter got me really good.
Yeah, it's good. It's
like
good.
that one.
Ian R says, "What's up, SGS fam? Especially Kate's new hair."
Oh,
Alpha Bill says, "Love to give my thanks to SGS. Hashtag who is cousin Cassie." Don't look too hard in the wrong places. Jambeard says, "Not a car pun, but a great piece of advice via Maggie. Remember to not choke, just light squeeze."
Let that be as it may.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So
SCUV.
SCUV. Mm-hmm. Very good. That's very good. Okay. Now see, Pieces wants Tiffany Stratton to sing the Wrestl-icious song, and Jambeard wants all of my stuff to sing the Wrestl-icious song.
Why don't I kick it off then? Because we definitely, I'll tell you what we don't need, and that's to do the Wrestl-icious theme twice.
No, we don't.
So, I'll get us. You know what? I will jump in as the pop star. Yeah. Oh no, we don't have it that far. I'll just start us then. No, you should, because that's Tony D right there. I'll be the All-American girl. You do everybody else.
Okay, here we go. I am the goddaughter. When I get in the ring, it's gonna be a slaughter. If you mess with me, you're gonna sleep with the fishes. Because Tony the Top is Wrestl-icious.
I am Glory, an all-American girl. I like to the American flag unfold. I am patriotic, not to be malicious. I am red, white, and blue, and Wrestl-icious. Toodles.
I don't even know who to do is this one.
Linda. Because remember, we took that trip to Hawaii. We did the cruise.
I am Maui, sweet like guava, though I pack a punch like molten lava. I am the answer to your prayers and your wishes. I am Maui, and I'm Wrestl-icious. I am Draculetta, queen of the night. I will suck your blood and you will scream in fright. My teeth are sharp and my bite is vicious because Draculetta is Wrestl-icious. Now you should be Lacey Von Erich again.
Oh crap! I exited out because I thought my work was done.
No. We're doing. Yeah.
I am Lacey Von Erich. You know the name. My family is in the Wrestling Hall of Fame. My claw holds famous. It's not fictitious because I'm Lacey Von Erich. Is Wrestl-icious. Toodles.
Very good.
So if you don't know what Wrestl-icious is, you need to go back and watch our other stuff. But this is how all of the characters of Wrestl-icious were introduced. And I cannot stress this enough. The person pioneering it was Jimmy Hart alongside all of these culturally appropriative and real weird characters.
Right. Yep. So we have 71 puns. Meet Norma says Willie Mack Truck. Lieutenant Colonel says Ram Bigelow. And Ian R says Dusty Roads work ahead. Roads work ahead. There we go. Okay, so let's see here.
Now this makes me so happy. Patricia Mercer, who seems like a newcomer, so thank you, said, I think I found the proper mix of pun and wrestling content for me to start hanging around more often. Well,
thank you.
Thank you. That means a lot. We are extremely silly. We do a lot of jokes and we do a lot of silly impressions and some
and
original
characters. That are, yeah, a lot of original characters apparently. Can you work on the pep talk for Kim Gray in there as Tiffany, and then maybe Linda will come in. But I got other things I got to do now. Apparently, Jambeard wants Pop Popolowski to do Eli Cottonwood's mustache promo from NXT. And somebody on Cage Match transcribed this, and now I've got to say it as my Papa Pulowski character. What's a mustache? It's a little bit of hair going over the upper lip. I don't have one. I thought I did. Nobody else here has one, but you know what? A mustache is for real, man. Yeah, I say all these people here. I have the best mustache of them all. No, give me a couple more days. I'll have a nice thick mustache. But none of these boys right here will ever have one.
I just realized we had a new person, and now they just got subjected to whatever we do with that.
That's right. I'm sorry. People paid me money to do that. Tom LaValle
goes, we are not a cult.
Tom LaValle says, wants Linda to sing Fast Car by Tracy Chapman. I'm tempted to do the entire song because it's so funny as this character, but I'm not. You got a fast car. I want a ticket to anywhere. Maybe we make a deal. Maybe together we could get somewhere. Any place is better. Tell me about it. Starting from zero, got nothing to lose. Maybe we'll make something. Me, myself, I got nothing to prove. You got a fast car. I got a plan to get us out of here. I've been working at the convenience store. Managed to save just a little bit of money. Won't have to drive too far. Just across the border and into the city. You and I can both get jobs. Finally see what it means to be living. See, my old man's got a problem. He lives with a bottle. That's the way it is. He says his body's too old for working. His body's too young to look like his. When Mama went off and left him, she wanted more from life than he could give. I said, somebody's got to take care of him. I quit school, and that's what I did.
The Ballad of Linda.
It's true. It's true. It's just, it's life. What can you do? Okay. I got a bunch of Darbies. Can we give a pep talk to Kim Gray? Kim Gray had a rough day.
Kim, I am so sorry that you had a rough day. I've totally been there. In fact, last time I was on NXT, you saw me cleaning out horse manure from a stall because I lost a bet. I also lost my title to Becky Lynch way too early. That was literally so unfair. And on top of that, the only other feud I literally had was with like Thea Hale and a bunch of weird matches. So I've had bad days too. And what I would recommend is getting hot pink lipstick, maybe a martini, hanging out with somebody really cool, buying some new clothes, getting your hair highlighted blonde, and it'll turn your day right around.
Retail therapy, it always works for me.
It always works. You are literally so wise.
Yeah, well, I should be for as old as I am. I should know something by now.
Which is, again, of course, like 40 or 460 years old.
We have not done the precise carbon dating. We do not know exactly how old I am. Toodles. Darby sings a bunch of stuff. Hold on. Darby Allin sings Wait and Bleed by Slipknot. These are going to be like little snippets here. Here we go. I felt the hate rise up in me, kneel down and clear the stone of leaves. I wander out where you can't see. Inside my shell, I wait and bleed. I felt the hate rise up in me, kneel down and clear the stone of leaves. I wander out where you can't see. Inside my shell, I wait and bleed. Goodbye, Sting. I whop it off on tile. The light is brighter this time. Everything is 3D blasphemy, Malachi Black. My light and eyes and red and gold, the hair standing straight up. This is not the way I pictured me or Brody King. I can't control my shakes. How the hell did I get here? Something about this so very wrong. I have to laugh out loud. I wish I didn't like this. Is it a dream or a memory? Then Darby also sings Hazy Shade of Winter by Simon and Garfunkel.
Time. See what's become of me. While I looked around for my possibilities, I was so hard to please. But look around. Leaves are brown. And the sky is a hazy shade of Malachi black. Hear the Scout Salvation Army band down by the riverside. It's bound to be a better ride than what you've got planned. Carry your cup in your hand and look around you. Leaves are brown now, and the sky is a hazy shade of a bunch of chairs with a panel of glass on top of it. And I'm going to jump into the sky, if the sky is that.
Then we got Darby to sing Drain the Blood by the Distillers.
Everybody just wants to do Darby blood puns because he did an insane spot in the Sting match.
He did.
God bless.
I'm living on shattered faith. I'm also living on shattered glass. The kind that likes to restrict your breath. Never been a better time than this to suffocate on eternal bliss. In a city that swells with so much hate, you seem to rise above and take this place. The heart pumps until it dies. Drain the blood. The heart is wise. All my friends are murder. Hey, all my bones, no marrow's in. All these fiends want teenage meat. All my friends are murderers away. Yeah, Sting is a murderer, I guess. Anyway.
Okay. Okay, I've done those. Okay. No, Vicky says, "Hi, Alex and Kate. Darby sings The King of Pain by the Police. Hope Shawn sent you the pic I took for you, Kate, at Revolution. You were there, LOL. Love you guys."
He did it, but I will message him immediately after the show and find out what that's about.
All right, here we go. There's a little black spot on the sun today. It's the same old thing as yesterday. There's a black hat caught in a high treetop. There's a flagpole rag and the wind won't stop. It's really windy on top of Mount Everest. I have stood here before inside the pouring rain or snow on Everest. With the world turning circles running around my brain, I guess I'm always hoping that you'll end this rain. But it's my destiny to be the king of pain. Thanks.
Okay. Jambeard wants Ilya to do the Genesis of McGillicuddy promo. Again, you can find this on Cage Match. This is Ilya Dragunov doing the Genesis of McGillicuddy promo. "I don't know what to say. Him? You are going to go to a pay-per-view and have a title shot? You've got to be kidding me. That's going to suck. I'll tell you that much. Doesn't matter what you think. You are nowhere near the level of Michael McGillicuddy. You understand me? Ever since I started NXT, I had one goal, and that is to become a WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And unfortunately, I got eliminated today. I lost my guaranteed shot at the title. But that is not going to stop me from being a future World Heavyweight Champion." Spoiler alert, it did stop him from being
It did, in
a
fact,
future
stop him. That is
World
that is
Heavyweight
correct.
Champion. It is true. That did happen. Louisville wants Paul Popolowski to sing the Canyonero song. It's short, so let's do this. Okay, here we go. Can you name the truck with four-wheel drive? Smells like a steak and seats 35. Canyonero. Well, it goes real slow with a hammer down. It's the Country Pride truck endorsed by a clown. Canyonero. Canyonero. Hey. 12 yards long, 2 lanes wide. 65 tons of American pride. Canyonero. The top of the line utility sports. Unexplained fires are a matter for the courts. Canyonero. She blinds everybody with her super high beams. She's a squirrel squashing, deer smacking driving machine. Canyonero. What? Okay. Let's see. All right. We're done. No more. Send no more. I have 2 from Dusty and 1 from Ricky Rainbow.
I don't think they're the ones that sent them in. I think they're the impressions they're supposed to do.
I'm just saying. I can't. Here, listen. All right. Hold on. Hey everybody, it's me. It's Dustin Rose. I'm about to do a request. Simply irresistible. Here we go. From Robert Palmer. Oh, I love Robert Palmer. He's there. Here we go. How can it be permissible? She compromised my principle. Yeah, Daddy. That kind of love is mythical. She's anything but typical. She's a craze you'd endorse. She's a powerful force. You're obliged to conform when there's no other course. She used to look good to me, but now I find her simply irresistible, baby. That's right. Simply irresistible, if you will.
I will.
Also, meeting Norma's once.
Is it karaoke night in Wrestling Heaven?
Oh, yeah, there's karaoke night every night.
Oh, nice. Okay.
There's a Coke karaoke bar across the street from the frozen yogurt place. So we just go and we get froyo, and then we go across the street, and then we get completely smacked out of our gourds, and we just sing songs.
That's beautiful, Ghost of Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah, no, that's a good. The meeting Normus is requesting that I sing a Boulevard of Broken Dreams, Daddy. By the Green Days. Here we go. I walk a lonely road, the only road I've ever known. Don't know where it goes, Daddy, but it's home to me, and I walk alone. I walk this empty street on the Boulevard of Broken Dreams, baby, where the city sleeps, and I'm the only one, and I walk alone. I walk alone. I walk alone. I walk alone. I walk a. My shadow's the only one that walks beside me. That's hard times. When only your shadow is the person, your only companion. The only friend you got in the world is your shadow. That's hard times. My shadow heart's the only thing that's beating. Sometimes I wish someone out there would find me. They're there and I walk alone. I walk alone. All right, no more for me then. That's right. Okay, so I'm done. Hold on. I gotta go back inside. I gotta close my tab.
Oh, make sure you close your tab and buy Virgil a drink while you're there. All right.
That's right. No, that man that's sitting over there with a couple of Stella Artoises, and one for him and one for me, and then also a plate of cheese fries. Because the cheese fries at that karaoke bar are second to none. Let me tell you, Daddy. All right, I gotta go.
All right, nice to see you.
Back to the great beyond.
Oh, okay. Bye, Ghost of Dusty Rhodes.
Okay, Jesse Ozog wants Bron doing Love is More Thicker Than Forget, a poem by E.E. Cummings as read by Braun Strowman.
Love is more thicker than forget, more thinner than recall, more seldom than a wave is wet, more frequent than to fail. It is most mad and moonly, and it less that shall unbe than all the sea, which only is deeper than the sea. Love is less always than to win, less never than alive, less bigger than the least begin, less literal than forgive. It is most sane and sunly, and more it cannot die than all the sky, which only is higher than the sky. Get these stanzas.
Okay.
I'm always impressed when new people have fun because we are very weird. And a lot of these things come out of nowhere. But I'm glad Patricia is validating us in the chat.
I'm glad. I'm so glad. Jambeard. Oh, hold on. Patricia,
there are 4,500 people watching on YouTube.
I feel like YouTube.
Bless you.
I feel like YouTube is miscounting because that's literally 10 times more than we usually have. Okay, Patricia, and all of you, all 4,000 of you, you're going to love this. Here we go. Hello, it's me, it's Ricky Rainbow. How are you?
Hi, Ricky Rainbow.
It's been a while. So I'm supposed to do Life is a Highway. So I'll do that. Life is a highway.
It sure is.
Oh, here we go. Life's a road that you travel on when there's one day here and the next day gone.
Sometimes you bend, sometimes you stand, sometimes you turn your back to the wind. There's a world outside every darkened door where blues don't haunt you anymore, where the brave are free and lovers soar. Come ride with me to the distant shore. We won't hesitate to break down the garden gate. There's not much time left today, yeah? Life is a highway. I want to ride it all night long. If you're going my way, I want to drive it all night long. Hey, you know what highway that Dwayne The Rock Johnson rides?
What highway?
The Hershey Highway. Oh, diarrhea
so
Dwayne.
Cheeky.
Oh,
Ricky
diarrhea Dwayne. He rides the Hershey Highway. All right.
Ricky, who even are you?
I don't know. I'm an enigma. I'm a mystery. You don't know. I'm a mystery wrapped in an enigma, wrapped in an egg roll wrapper, wrapped in a tortilla.
There it is.
Tom
Vicky,
Lavalley-
Sean finally sent me the picture, and I don't know if you're the sweet brunette with the Queen of the Bum shirt on, or if you're one of the other two gals in this. But this was sincerely very, very cool. They did a meetup. Ricky, do you know about the AEW Revolution pay-per-view?
No. Yeah, no.
It's a
Was that-
wrestling show.
Was that with the Police concert?
It wasn't, but there was a man called Sting there. But I can understand. I
I thought there was only one Sting.
There isn't. There's actually
No.
one guy who was kind of a lot of guys.
So the bass player from the Police does not paint his face to look like Brandon Lee in The Crow and jump through tables. They're two different men.
To my knowledge, they're two different people.
Oh. Well, good on him.
Some of our wonderful Fightful Select subscribers met up with
that's nice.
Sean in the parking lot beforehand. He got to meet like 100 people this weekend, and like 70 of them are in the parking lot, and sent me a very cool picture that was taken. So what else he photo said my wife was the Queen of the Bombs. That rules. Her shirt was amazing.
Oh, wonderful.
But thank you to everybody who did that. And subscribe to Fightful Select. We have a Discord now. But we also have a free Sour Grabs Discord. So
yeah. All right. Okay. So now what Tom Lavalley wants me to sing Turn the Page by Bob Seger. So I'm going to do that.
This has to be our encore, though, because we're way over.
This is it. It's not. Okay. We're done.
This is the go home song.
Yeah. No, everyone paid me money to do this.
No. We'll make it happen.
All right. I mean, it's not my idea.
No, it's
Tom Lavalley wanted me to sing Bob Seger, so I've got to do it.
You know how venues are when you run over on time, you know?
Oh, yeah. Well, screw him. I'll leave my manager to take care of that. On a long and lonesome highway east of Omaha, you can listen to the engine moaning out its one known song. You can think about the woman or the girl you knew the night before. I don't like how he draws a distinction between a woman and a girl. Like, he knows how old she was and she was not legal. Bob Seger, I don't like that at all. But your thoughts will soon be wandering, the way they always do, when you're riding 16 hours and there's nothing much to do and you don't feel much like riding, you just wish the trip was through. Say, here I am on the road again. There I am up on the stage. Here I go, playing the star again. There I go, turn the page. Thank you.
That was beautiful.
All right. Well, we've got 71 car puns and like 25 minutes worth of jukeboxes. So I hope you're happy. And now we say the thing we say at the end of the show.
We
Keep
do.
Cool, gabagoos.
And toodles.